1978. The legend. You are not yourself anymore. You haven't been for 5 years. Morse code, cryptography, surveillance detection, dead drops in Moscow parks at 2 a.m. while snow fell and no one watched. And a 6-page document called Your Legend. A complete American life, built detail by detail, memorized until it sat inside you like something that actually happened. His name is different from yours. Grew up in New Jersey, mother German, father absent. Slight accent that the German mother explains. You practiced that accent in a Moscow bathroom for 8 months. First in the mirror, then with your eyes closed, then in your sleep. In February, you land at JFK with a Canadian passport, $10,000 in cash, and a dead child's birth certificate folded into your coat pocket. The boy died in 1955. He was 5 years old. Nick, his name is yours now. You've been saying it for so long, it stopped feeling strange. The customs officer looks at the passport, looks at your face. Purpose of visit? Tourism, you say. He stamps it, waves you through. You walk out of the terminal, and New York hits you all at once. The cold, the noise, the smell of exhaust and street food, and something sweet you can't identify. 50 languages in a single block. A man selling newspapers beside a man selling hot dogs beside a woman screaming into a payphone in what might be Greek. Cabs honking without reason. Steam rising from grates in the sidewalk like the city is breathing. Moscow told you America was dying. Decadent, rotting from inside. A system in terminal decline. You stand outside JFK with $10,000 in your pocket and look at the size of it. The skyline visible from the highway, the volume of it, the sheer alive weight of it. This doesn't look like dying. The little man in your head makes a note. He'll be making notes for years. 1979. The build identity is paperwork. That's the first lesson. You join the Museum of Natural History. $15 membership. Member card. You use the member card to get a library card. Library card gets you a driver's license. Farm worker application bypasses the Social Security requirement entirely. A loophole nobody closed because nobody thought to look for it. 6 weeks after landing, you are a legal American resident. 3 months after that, a bike courier in Manhattan. May you live in a cheap hotel in Queens with thin walls and a radiator that knocks all night. At night, you set up the shortwave radio on the desk, pull on headphones, and receive transmissions from Moscow. Encrypted 5-digit number groups. You spend 2 to 3 hours decoding each one. The messages are routine. Stay in place. Observe. Build your profile. Report on targets. You observe. You eat your first Big Mac standing on a corner in Midtown. It's embarrassing how much you like it. You go back the next day. You watch a baseball game from the bleachers at Yankee Stadium and understand none of the rules, but feel the crowd's tension like weather. You ride the subway at rush hour, pressed against strangers, and realize nobody looks at anyone. Everyone is deliberately not looking. In Moscow, you tracked every face in a room. Here, the skill is invisibility, and everyone already has it. That's the point. That's the whole mission. The little man in your head is working constantly. Accent holding? You sounded too formal ordering coffee this morning. Loosen it. Americans don't say certainly, they say sure. Watch more television. Listen to how people actually talk, not how you practiced. You watch 4 hours of television every night for 6 months. You start dreaming in English. 1981. The static. Reagan is president. The temperature changes. Americans are afraid in a way they weren't 2 years ago. Not the quiet Soviet kind of fear. Managed, institutional, taught from childhood, so it becomes background noise. This American fear is loud and visible. You hear the word nuclear over lunch like it's small talk. A colleague at work says he bought a house in Vermont because it's far enough from any missile target. He says this seriously. People nod. You've lived with this fear your entire life, but hearing it out loud in American voices, at American lunch tables, over American food, that lands differently than Moscow prepared you for. New instructions arrive via transmission. Identify and profile recruitment candidates, college students, mid-level government workers, anyone with access and grievance. You spend weekends at Columbia University events, policy seminars, bars near government offices when you travel to Washington. You watch a man named Daniel for 3 months, political science student, brilliant and quietly furious about the right things. You build his full profile, habits, contacts, ideology, pressure points. You encode it and leave it at the Central Park dead drop. You never hear about Daniel again. The following spring, you see him at a lecture on Soviet-American trade policy. He's gotten a haircut. He looks happy. He's talking to a woman and making her laugh. He has no idea you exist. You stop writing profiles after that. The little man in your head is tired. 3 years of constant monitoring. Every word checked before it leaves your mouth. Every social interaction reviewed afterward for errors. He hasn't found many, but he never stops looking. 1983. The quiet. Something shifts and you don't notice it happening. That's the thing about it. You only understand it afterward. You stop noticing the little man. Not because he's gone, because the performance has become the person. I mean, you don't calculate how an American would order coffee. You just order it. The accent doesn't need monitoring anymore. It monitors itself. At some point in the last 5 years, the cover story stopped being something you maintained and started being something you simply were. The KGB has a name for this. Going native. The mission consuming the agent. The worst possible outcome of deep cover work. But it doesn't feel like being consumed. It feels like exhaling after holding your breath for years. You get a computer science degree from Baruch College at night. 2 years of classes after work. Real coursework. Genuinely hard. In 1984, MetLife hires you as an IT specialist. The work is substantive. You're good at it. Not performing competence, actually competent. You send Moscow programming code that helps their computer scientists close the gap with the West. That's real intelligence work. The best you've done. Every 2 years, you fly to East Germany on a fake passport for 3 weeks of debriefing. Conference rooms, officers with reports. You tell them what they want to hear. Then you fly back to JFK. Each time the plane descends over New York, you watch the city come up through the window. The density of it, the lights, the harbor, and you feel something specific and unmistakable. You feel like you're coming home. You sit with that the whole cab ride to Queens, and you don't know what to do with it. 1985. Born in the USA. Springsteen is on every radio, every bar, every car window at a red light. You're in a bar on a Tuesday when the song comes on, and you hear it, the way you always hear things, with the analyst's part of your brain cataloging it, contextualizing it. You know what the song is actually about. A man abandoned by his country. The distance between the promise and the reality. Not a celebration, an accusation set to drums. But Americans sing it like it belongs to them, like it's armor. And standing at the bar in the noise and the smoke, watching people sing along to a song about betrayal like it makes them stronger, something moves in your chest that the KGB never trained you for and never warned you about. You meet Chelsea that month at a mutual friend's birthday. Teacher from Ohio, talks fast, laughs at her own jokes before she finishes telling them. She asks where you're from. New Jersey, you say. You've been from New Jersey for 7 years. It comes out before you finish thinking it. Moscow's transmissions have dropped to once a month. The assignments are smaller. Public perception assessments, observation reports, nothing that requires active risk. You're starting to wonder if you've become a placeholder. Maintained because abandoning an asset creates more risk than maintaining one. You wonder if Moscow has simply forgotten you're here. The little man in your head is almost completely quiet. 1986, Chelsea. You tell her everything: your name, your childhood in New Jersey, your German mother, your absent father, the whole legend, delivered over 6 months of dinners and walks and late nights talking, piece by piece, the way people actually share themselves with each other. She believes it because it's true. It has been true for 8 years. You stopped knowing the difference. You get married in October. Small ceremony. Her family from Ohio fills one side of the room. Your side is empty. Estrangement, you explain. And that's accurate in every way that counts. She's pregnant by December. One night after she's asleep, you sit at the kitchen table and set up the shortwave radio out of habit. You decode the transmission, routine collection request, standard frequencies, nothing urgent. You turn off the radio and sit in the kitchen with the static gone and the apartment quiet, and your wife asleep in the next room and a child coming in the spring. You sit there for a long time. You would not go back. Not for the mission, not for Moscow, not for the ideology they handed you at 22 like it was truth, not for the man whose actual name you haven't said aloud in 8 years. You would not go back. You turn off the kitchen light and go to bed. 1987, the silence. Your daughter is born in March. You hold her in the delivery room, and she opens her eyes and looks directly at you. First thing, that specific alert focus of a newborn, already taking inventory of the world. You think she knows more about who I am than Moscow does. The transmissions have slowed to once every 6 weeks. The Soviet economy is deteriorating visibly. Afghanistan has become a bleeding wound nobody knows how to close. The KGB's resources are stretched, and its attention is elsewhere. You receive your assignments, file your reports, maintain your frequencies, but the urgency is gone. When the whole operation feels like something running on momentum rather than intention, you go to work, you come home, Chelsea grades papers at the kitchen table, your daughter sleeps in the next room, you cook dinner, you've gotten genuinely good at cooking, another thing that stopped being performance somewhere along the way. Some nights, you sit in the kitchen after everyone is asleep and try to find the little man. He's not there, not dormant, not quiet, gone. The observer who watched your every word for 9 years. The part of you that was always KGB, even when everything else became American. Gone. You don't know exactly when it happened. That's the thing. It didn't announce itself. On one day, the monitor was there, and somewhere in the ordinary accumulation of days, dinners and commutes and your daughter's face and Chelsea's voice, he simply wasn't. What's there instead is just a man sitting in a kitchen in Queens at midnight. 1988, the platform. The urgent transmission comes in January. Return immediately. Emergency documents at the Central Park drop. Come home now. You don't go to the drop. 2 weeks pass, another transmission. The language has changed, harder now, less procedural. Come home. This is not a request. You transmit back. HIV diagnosis. Require American medical treatment. Cannot travel safely. It buys 6 weeks. On a Tuesday morning in March, you're on the 34th Street subway platform. Rush hour, the platform packed. Nobody looking at anyone. The city's permanent agreement with itself. A man stands beside you. You've never seen him. He doesn't look at you. He speaks quietly and quickly in Russian. The first Russian you've heard spoken aloud in years. It sounds strange in your ears, like a language you studied once and mostly forgot. Come home, he says, or you're dead. The uptown train arrives. The doors open. The crowd moves. Doors close. Train gone. Platform clears in 40 seconds. The man is already gone. You stand in the sudden silence of an empty subway platform. Chelsea, your daughter's face in the delivery room, eyes open, already paying attention. A name on a driver's license that fits better now than the one you were born with. The next train comes in 4 minutes. You don't move.